You mentioned it like when you went through buds, and I know you don't like to talk about buds as much because you think it's probably all been said and oversaid, and I get your point. And and I've had a few SEALs on here, and I've had people that also just have gone through SEAL training, like Goggins and Bilzerian and stuff. But like people like Jocko are like, buds is such a tiny little part of being a SEAL that it's not even worth me talking about because it's a thing compared to the training that happens when you become a SEAL. But like I read that you were in there, and for you, you're like, I'm getting through this because I think you met a SEAL when you were a kid and you were like, I'm getting through this no matter what. And when you saw guys fail, it gave you strength. And you were like, I'm doing this regardless, even though I know they put you through some really challenging pieces. Was that just the way you were wired, do you think? Do you think that's just your personality where you could just push through when, 80% of your class rings the bell and goes out?
Yeah, I think it's for me, it was very much connected to passion, right? I mean, when you when something is when you're exposed to something as a child, it's far more sticky, right? Um, than like if I was exposed to it today. I don't know that you'd be able to get that same passion and energy behind an idea or behind a goal. But when you're a kid and you meet that guy, he looks like Dick Marco himself at a bar in the Frankfurt airport, and he starts telling you stories that are kind of, sort of like, the ninjas that I actually wanted to be, because the 80s was all about ninjas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he started saying, well, yeah, this is what I do. And I'm like, whoa, yeah, okay, that's what I want to do. Right. And so, yeah, that I think passion is for me was the fuel. And then of course, when you see people quitting around you, for me, that was like, good. I don't get the fuck out of here. Cause who wants that person anywhere near you when it's time to actually, go get work done overseas? You just don't want it anywhere near you. And plus we're all competing against each other at the end of the day. Right. So the less people you got to compete against, the better. Right. Buds is all about teamwork, but that only applies to the people that are like standing around you at that moment in time. But as soon as one of them says, I think I'm going to quit, then it's like, get the fuck out of here. You're not on the team anymore. See ya. So, it's for me, that helped, right? It just like seeing those people run, cause you're all locked together. And I remember the surf zone, and the surf that night was freaking pounding. Right. And so you're laying in it. It's just crushing you. And so you're all linked together like a chain, but eventually your arms, it's Mother Nature, right? You're not going to be able to withstand that. So it eventually, this long chain breaks into several little chains, and now everyone's kind of, connected, but floating in these little islands in the surf zone, trying not to drown. And, who I was chained, the group of guys that I was chained together with in the center, that guy that I was connected to was like, I'm quitting. And I don't know what it was when he said that. And I kind of, out of the corner of my eye, could see him getting up and then running towards, this is at night. There's usually the instructors have, 2 4-wheel drive type trucks out there on the beach with their headlights on. And you just see that silhouette of him running towards those vehicles to quit. And that was that was the 6th week of Buds for me at the time. They've changed where Hell Week happens a bunch of times, so I don't know where it falls anymore, but that was the moment. And I was like, seeing that was like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. All of a sudden I wasn't cold anymore. I was like, yep, that is not going to be me. It was like a little bit of happiness for some reason. And I think there's a lot of other guys like me when, in how they think with that. Cause you just, at the end of the day, you don't want that. And to extend a little bit further, believe it or not, we had guys get through Buds, get through all the advanced training, show up to a SEAL team, end up in my platoon, and it's time to go, push into Iraq. And SEAL Team 3 were the first, right? And so we're on our way, and 2 of the new guys basically quit, right? They've got tridents. They've earned their trident. And we hit Guam for a day or so to like refuel or do whatever we need to do. And then, but while we were there, you could see it in their eyes, and I was in a leadership position at that time. So I confront them on it. And, the first one was to deflect and then turn it around. And you're right, like, no, I'm not going to quit. What, are you going to quit? Why are you asking? Does that mean you're having doubts? And I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah, these guys are done. And before we landed in Kuwait, and before we started rehearsing and things got real, yeah, these two guys, two different times, but both of them have much longer stories to tell. But yeah, they initially were like, nope. I've got a wife, I've got kids. I didn't sign up for this. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I want to live. I want to go to college. I'm like, okay, get the fuck. I mean, I didn't waste 2 seconds, right? It was just like, get the fuck out of here. Nobody wants you. Give me every bit of issued cool gear, all of your cool camouflage, all of that, and go put on dungarees. And dungarees is like, the denim pants and the light colored blue shirt and the Dixie cup, that you got now. You're going to wear sailor clothing for the rest of the time you're here until we send your sorry ass back to the States. But that blew my mind. That mentality can still make it through something like Buds.
Wow.
Right.
And that's the mentality that gets teams killed, right? One of those gets teams killed.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy that when you get ambushed and once the threat's eliminated, you look around, they're still hiding behind the Humvee. They never came out. They never fired a shot. They never put themselves in a position where they could potentially get injured, hurt, or killed, right? You cannot afford to have that kind of person on your team. Never.
Yeah. That is unacceptable for a SEAL, right? To have that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the worst kind of, I mean, you can be slow at running, suck at push-ups. Heck, you can even be a bad shot, right? But as long as you're there and you're next to me, that's a winning formula every time.
Right.
But if you're the one cowarding behind the vehicle while we're getting our asses shot at, no, get the fuck out of here.
The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.